What is up, YouTube? This is Jared. I'm your host with Custom Points Live. Really glad to have you guys here again. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about just a little bit of more of like a heart to heart about where I'm at with this channel and what I'd love to hear from you guys as feedback. Um, so, you guys understand, obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably interested in credit card points and miles. You might be relatively advanced. You might be someone that's just starting out. So it's kind of hard for me to tell where someone's really at, especially in this kind of a public forum. But as you guys might know, I have the ability to stay at properties like this for free, literally $0 out of pocket. What you're seeing is me here at the Conrad Orlando. I booked a total of 8 nights. 2 of them I gave to a friend. And the total for the bill for all of the nights, including everything, would be, if paying cash, over $12,000. And that's in 8 nights total at the property. That's not even factoring in, all of my abilities with buying flights with points and everything like that. And, we're staying at properties like this relatively often, something like 6 or 8 times a year. And this is as you guys saw in my last video, this is like our worst case scenario redemption. This is where we're spending the least amount of out of pocket, as far as like getting here. So there's no real parking fees as far as, like a usual, like, parking garage. There is a valet fee here, but that's the only out of pocket. I don't have to pay anything as far as taxes for flights or anything like that. We don't really have to eat at the property that much. Usually I do have a ton of credits to use at the property, but it won't be, we won't have more until next month. So we're able to eat off of the property here, and we're able to utilize the $50 a day food and beverage credit that comes with being Diamond members. And, if you're watching this and you have no idea what I'm talking about, the bottom line is that there is an insane amount of value in the ability to stay at properties like this for free, all with utilizing credit cards in a wise way. There's a lot of stuff that really belongs as advanced strategy that I don't feel comfortable sharing publicly. And that's for the simple reason that if I started talking about all this stuff that I'm doing publicly, everybody and their mother would start doing it. And so I don't want to ruin it for myself and anyone else and not be able to have you guys utilize this. And at the same time, I want to be able to show you guys what happens and what you can do. I want to, give you guys a breakdown of all the nerdy math on how much money, is genuinely out of pocket to stay at a place like this. But I don't want to share it in any kind of a way that is going to ruin it for everyone else. So it's quite the conundrum, and that's why I made this video, because I really wanted to get some feedback from you guys. If you're here live watching right now, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this channel. But I really want to know from you guys what your feedback is on, what kind of information do you want to see? Do you want me to go through a breakdown of like all of our room charges and how, with the $50 a day food and beverage credit negating so many of them, it ends up being like a net $0 out of pocket? Do you guys want to see what the cash rates are of properties like this? And like this room that we're staying in, that's a 1-bedroom suite, that would be over $1,500 per night, and how that's literally covered by just one free night reward with Hilton, and how you can get those free night rewards. Like, what exactly is it that you guys want to see? And I have a couple people saying that they want everything and never hold back. See, the problem with that is that, and I appreciate the feedback, is I want to share that with you guys, but it just doesn't belong in a public forum. So I've been trying to balance sharing with you guys the outcomes and not necessarily all of the details. Because if I give you guys the outcomes and I show you what's happening, as far as like what the results are, that's great. But then if I share with you exactly how that happened, then I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place, because I'm sharing stuff that you guys shouldn't see publicly, because other people are watching this kind of stuff that, like the Hilton brand is watching, and probably or can watch, and Amex and things like that. Um, and there's really no shenanigans, and that's good, Mike. I appreciate the feedback. He said as long as there's no shenanigans, you should be able to talk about it. And I agree. There's really no shenanigans per se, but there are things that are strategies that you don't necessarily want everyone to know about. So, for example, how do I tell you without telling you? There's basically, you guys are familiar with the concept of stacking, right? Where you can use a shopping portal and you can use this and you can use that and you can add all those things together and save yourself a crazy amount of money to the point that it doesn't, it shouldn't be, but it is. And that's the problem with this kind of stuff, is that it's essentially stringing together a bunch of different strategies and a bunch of different concepts that are quite detailed. And for the casual viewer, like there's 31 people watching this right now. Welcome. Glad you guys are all here. For the casual person watching that has no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to lose like all of you if I start getting into all the nitty gritty details. And I'm ruining probably the ability to use those details in if I'm publicly talking about all this stuff. So I have all this information, I have all this knowledge, and I'm here on vacation with my family for 8 days that would cost over $12,000. And I want to share with you guys how to do that, but I can't do it in a public way. So the bottom line, and I don't have a resolution here, I've been literally chewing on this for days, is like I took over this channel from my friend in January, and I've been trying to come up with the right kind of content that would be valuable for you guys. And as I started showing you guys my vacations and I started showing you guys, how I'm using my cards, I just, I'm seeing that there's not that many comments on the videos, not that many likes. And I'm just wondering, like, am I wasting your time? Because I care about your time. You guys can watch all kinds of YouTubers that have all kinds of edited videos that are super detailed on all of the little nitty gritties of every single card, benefits. And I watch those videos myself, so I know what's out there, but I don't want to just make a copy of all that. There's enough of that out there. What I was hoping for this channel was to kind of have more of a conversation, a back and forth. And that's what the live stream is about, is that when I do go live and you are able to join in and you're a subscriber, we can have a conversation about what are you doing? How did I get to this property? And then as soon as I end the stream, if you guys aren't aware, YouTube posts the video as a live video. And I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but whenever I watch YouTube lives that are after the fact, that are more of like a random bunch of questions that someone's getting and answering, it's boring. I don't want to watch it. I end up, very much. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Yeah, I end up being really bored watching the videos that are just like comment after comment, unrelated, kind of Q&A style. And I don't know if that's a good source of content either. So I guess what I'm going to try to do with you guys is just walk you through the journey of all of this stuff. And when I get to content that belongs behind a paywall, I'll just reiterate that, hey, I have the ability for you guys to book a one-on-one. If you're curious enough to know how I'm doing this stuff, I will not hold a thing back, and I will have a conversation with you for about an hour going through your exact setup, what should work best for you, what your situation is. I have no problem doing that, but I have to put that behind a paywall for the security of the information for everyone. And yes, Dem just recommended that I should consider a membership. And yes, I would love to have a membership. To do it through YouTube, you have to have 4,000 watch hours in a year. And when I took over the channel, my friend had not been posting on this channel for, I think it was something like a year. So really, I'm starting from scratch, even though I have 1,500 subscribers or whatever. It's not real because you have to build that back again. So YouTube won't let me make a membership until I have that amount of time. And I could make a separate website that has a membership and stuff like that. My goal is to get it to the point where I can have a YouTube membership, and then with the YouTube membership, you guys can have access to like an hour once a year or something like that. If you want to pay more, you can, and then have some kind of a subscription where you guys can access time with me at any given time and I always wanted that when I was first starting out. I wanted a friend that would like sit down with me and kind of, download all of their knowledge into my situation and just solve this for me. Because if you guys are, interested in this kind of content, you're probably watching hours and hours and hours of videos that may or may not, specifically work for you and your situation. Um, and so having someone that knows about all this stuff that can kind of save you all of that learning curve is saving you hours and hours and hours of watching unrelated videos to try to stack up your knowledge. So I'm just trying to give you an hour of my time in one place that you can just download everything, and that'll be that hour of your time is going to be the most valuable money you ever spent. Because I'm not kidding you, I've spent in 2025 alone, I had to have over $150,000 worth of travel between the flights and business class flights with my family of three, all the hotels that we stayed at. I mean, this is the least expensive of all of the places that will use a free night reward, and it's over $1,500 a night. And another factor here is that we're all experiencing inflation. It's just going crazy with how much it's costing to live and everything like that. Well, one of the benefits of using credit cards is using the credit card spend. So I guess I'll kind of deviate from the content of this channel, and I'll also, or from the content of this particular video, and I'll tell you guys what I've also been thinking about with inflation and how people use credit cards. So a lot of credit cards come with benefits that are just there, right? You have these credits on the cards and you can use the credits, and some of them require spend where you actually have to spend a bunch of money on the cards to get value. And then some of them you don't have to spend anything on the cards. Like a good example is the Platinum card by American Express. You can essentially just use those credits and spend just those credits, and you're getting the value out of that card. So that card doesn't actually need to experience any spend. And sure, you have like a high annual fee, but you can justify that with hitting a sign-up bonus. And there's ways to hit sign-up bonuses that don't require organic spend. And that's the best way I can say that there. So you can, even if you wanted to, you could take some of the points that you're earning from a sign-up bonus and negate the annual fee, making it so that, essentially you're not paying anything literally out of pocket. Then you're collecting the excess of the points, and then you're also using the credits. And then there's a way to stack that. There's a way to do more than just one of those. So there's a lot of details here of how you can get a lot of value without actually having to put a lot of spend out on your cards. But then there's also cards that give you benefits that reward you for spending. So like a good example is this Hilton Surpass card, where you're spending $15,000 on the card in a year. And not only are you earning points along the way, but you're also getting a free night reward from spending that $15,000. Well, if you're utilizing the benefits that come with Hilton at a really good, in a really good way, like I am here, that free night reward is worth over, in my case, over $1,500 for one night. So I'm getting 10% back on my spend just in one night at a crazy property night like this. Now, I'm not necessarily spending money for a property like this out of pocket. So that I understand people use math sometimes to say, well, I wouldn't necessarily book a hotel room for that, so I can't value it at that level. Listen, if the room costs that much to get it, right, then that's the value of the room. So the fact that I'm getting 10% back on that card is there. It's true. So you're getting 10% back plus all the points that you're earning along the way with that card. So there's cards that also do that for you, where you have to spend on the card to get insane value, and you do, and you get crazy value. So there's different tools for different situations. Sometimes you're using tools for just holding the card and extracting the benefits. Sometimes you're using the tools that you're actually spending on the cards. And then there's other cards that just kind of get you mediocre value for spend and mediocre value for holding. Like you're really a good example of that people love to talk about is the Capital One Saver card, right? The Saver One, now they call it. You're getting 3x and it's Capital One points, so Capital One miles. So listen, anybody who's using the Saver card, no hate. Everybody has a little bit of a different situation and what works for them. And that's fantastic if you're getting 3 points per dollar and that works for you. Unless you're using those transfer partners in a really great way, I can't see a world where you should be excited about getting the 3x on that card, other than the fact that you may not know how to use annual fees to your advantage, right? Cards that do have annual fees where you're going to get more. Because even just comparing it to the Amex Gold card, and I don't have the gold card. I have a business gold, but I don't have a personal gold. I'll talk to you about the built card in a second, Dem. I do like my built card. But having the business gold, I'll just use that as an example. 4x versus 3x. The difference is huge. That's a 33% increase in the points that you're getting from spend. So it's an opportunity cost problem with the Saver card, right? If you're spending on a card and you're getting 3x and another card can get you 4x, if your spend is sufficiently high, that 4x is super valuable. But then you talk about sign-up bonuses and getting new sign-up bonuses as regularly as you possibly can. And then that completely defeats the entire conversation of a 3x card versus a 4x card, right? Because it's like, it doesn't matter. You're using sign-up bonuses and you're getting tons of sign-up bonuses. The points that you're getting from that completely outweigh what you're getting between a 3x card and a 4x card. So like these conversations that most of these YouTubers are having, in my opinion, are kind of moot points if you're using sign-up bonuses to your advantage. But then you also have, like I said, some cards like the Surpass card where you're getting insane value. And they have no lifetime language cards that happen sometimes and other ways that you can get the same sign-up bonus over and over again. So you stack the sign-up bonus plus spend that you have to put on the card anyway to unlock those rewards. And now you're getting even crazier value. So listen, I'm just trying to tell you guys that there are so many different ways to look at this stuff. It's not so one-dimensional that what is your card setup and what cards are you using for spend. It's fluid. It changes. It depends on what cards are being offered at certain rates and what the sign-up bonuses are. It matters what kind of vacation you're trying to go on, where you live and what your situation is, what your 524 status is, if you even care about 524. Now with this Hyatt devaluation, hopefully people will stop caring so much about 524 because sure, are there good chase cards? Absolutely. But if you have like a player 1 and a player 2 situation, you can use a player 2 for 524. And then your player 1, like me, I'm at like 1324 and I could care less. And that's not to mention all the business cards I've gotten. So, there's just different strategies and different ways to looking at this stuff. And that's what I was hoping this channel could be, is more of like an unlock for you guys to think about things a little bit differently. Everybody needs a little bit of a different approach. And so that's why I don't want to talk about all the details of like the Saver card, for example, when like, in my opinion, that's probably, not a great card unless you're the kind of person that doesn't care anything about points and miles, like other than just, cookie cutter solutions and like, here, spend on this card. Like I had a coworker that she already had the Saver, so I recommended that she got the Venture X. Those are her 2 cards. That's all she's using. My father-in-law, he has the Amex Gold card, and I recommended at the time the Venture X. This is before the Built Palladium came out. I would have recommended that now. And he just has that as his catch-all. Those are his 2 cards. He doesn't want any more than that. I have a friend that owns a gym. He's got tons of spend, but he doesn't want to learn anything about points and miles. All he wants is a simple setup. So he had the Freedom Unlimited and the Freedom and the Sapphire Preferred, right? That was his setup. So like some people just want simplicity. They don't want to talk about all this stuff. They don't want to learn it all. And I'm over here like, dude, if you could just give yourself an hour of my time and like really try to learn, you're staying in a place that would cost $12,000 and that's just one vacation. It's insane. It's like, look at the view behind me. I'm trying to give you guys the view because this place is just awesome. So you're hanging out with your family and you're having a good time and you're spending like nothing out of pocket. And I can't tell you, I wish I could give you guys, well, I hope I do. I hope that over time you guys watch this channel and you guys learn enough to be able to do the stuff that I'm doing. And you can sit there with your family and like look around and say, how the hell did I get here? Like, how the hell am I going to leave this hotel spending like $100 or whatever it is? This place, again, the valet is $50 a day. So I'm not getting away with, I'm spending 6 nights here myself. So that's going to be $300. But how am I going to get out of here spending a net like $300, And there's tons of places to eat around here. I don't have to eat at the property, but I can use the $50 a day food and beverage credit. Like, you just end up having a great time. And so anyways, I'll just go through some of these comments we're getting here. And I really appreciate all the feedback, and this is the most like on topic comments that I've gotten so far. So I want to try to let you guys kind of be a part of this. So I'm going to try to use StreamYard here properly and show you guys what you guys have said here. So I'll show Dem here. You want somebody to be transparent? You got it. I'll be as transparent as I possibly can be. The only thing that I'm not going to be transparent about is things that belong behind a paywall, and that's for your guys' sake and my sake, that we're not talking about things that should be private. And let's see what else we have. Yes, shenanigans belong behind a paywall. 100% Dem. Couldn't agree more. And if you guys wouldn't mind, in the description, you should see, and even in my other videos, there should be a link for you guys to click to go to Calendly to book a call with me. Can you guys just confirm that link is working properly for you? Because I had one person email me that they weren't able to get it to work for them, and then a bunch of other people have used it already. So just making sure that it's working for everybody. Let's see. Anything else will help your channel grow? Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do. Just share stuff that's going to work for you guys, and hopefully everybody gets a chance to see what it says. So just be you. They'll come. Got to be yourself. Got to be authentic. And that's me, man. Hopefully you guys have seen that. That's exactly what's going on. Not holding anything back other than things that belong held back for your privacy and everything like that, or for making sure everybody's good. You should consider a membership. Yep, we discussed that one. Obviously, I'd love to have a membership on YouTube at some point, but I have to have the views for that. And I will consider making a website that has the ability for you guys to have a membership. And that way, instead of you just paying for a one-time video, if you guys wanted to subscribe to be able to, paying for one-time conversations, if you guys did want to subscribe, I'll be able to give you guys something like a regular video every now and then, depending on what tier you choose. How are you liking your built card? Man, I love that thing. I really don't spend on it very much. My catch-all spend is relatively low right now, but again, there's ways to spend on cards regardless. And so it is my catch-all. Let me be very clear that if I'm not spending on dining, which unfortunately seems to be with a family my biggest expense, I will, or not biggest expense, but biggest like in my pocket, like card that I carry expense. I would say that the built card is fantastic for everything else. I have pretty much all my bills on there now, like all my monthly recurring bills. I put some business recurring bills on there too, and pay those separately. I really think that the built card's great, but there's a lot of people online that are saying that they don't really think that it's going to last. So I won't have my heart broken if it doesn't work out, but so far it's been working really well. Chase Inc. $750 back. Yeah, I love the Chase cards. My wife, like I said, is the one that we consider 524. She won't be under 524 until I think it was June, so I can't get any more Inc. cards myself. But the big thing I was using Chase for was for Hyatt, and I really only used Hyatt as my backup from Hilton. And with Hyatt devaluing now, I was trying to consider. We have something like, I think we have 160,000 Hilton point, or Hilton, 160,000 Chase UR points that we can use. And I'm considering where we'd use it to kind of book something. But my wife is about to have a baby at the beginning of June, end of May, somewhere around there. So really, this is going to be our last big vacation for a while, which is the first time that's been the case since we've started traveling. Like, we've been traveling probably once every month, and she now just entered the third trimester, and we decided months ago that this was going to be our last vacation until September. We have Costa Rica, Waldorf Astoria booked again for September, which, I can tell you guys, I highly recommend. They treat you like gold there. This property we're at right now, I highly recommend. There's 3 hotels that I can tell you will not regret using a free night reward. That is the Waldorf Cabo, that is the Waldorf in Costa Rica, and that is the Hilton Conrad here as well in Orlando. So those are the 3 that I would say you can't go wrong, but really obviously depends on what your situation is. Uh, Capital One, very powerful setup if you use it correctly through the Capital One offer portal. Also true, they do have some great offers. I find myself uh, really annoyed with having to use offers and stuff like that. We use it sometimes with some things with work where it makes sense, but on a personal level, to jump through all the hoops with offers and trying to remember. I try to remember every time I'm buying something to look and see if it's on like Rakuten, and try to use Rakuten, or I'll try to do the same thing with offers. But I really wish, there's a website you guys might want to check out. It's called cashbackmonitor.com, and that one is it's like an aggregator for all of the best websites for getting cashback, and Rakuten's on there, Rove is on there, so it's kind of helpful to not have to like jump through hoops. And I've heard that there's something like that for offers, and I would love to find out if anybody knows what that is. Feel free to comment if you're live or even afterwards. But I would love for there to be a website that you could just see across all the different offers of all the different, from Chase to Capital One to whoever, and see live if an offer is on your card. That would just save you from having to jump through them all. Because once you're using a lot of cards, I mean, we have probably like 30 something cards between the two of us. So I'm not going to sit there and just go through all my offers and try to figure it out. It's just too much. Let's see. Got to be open to new ecosystems and new cards. I couldn't agree more. Except there's certain ecosystems that just make it hard. Like again, Capital One's a great example of, unless you're brand new to the game, Venture X is very hard to get your hands on. I still think it's a great card. It's a great, like, that's another good example of a card that you don't have to spend on to make sense to keep it. I don't people that have been canceling it, I don't understand why you cancel that card, because you're getting 10,000 Capital One miles every year. You're getting, $300 in travel. It's still a fantastic card to use for car rentals. Like, that is my go-to car rental card. You have the primary CEW. If you book through National, they recognize it. They recognize your status, even though you're booking through Capital One Travel. You're getting 10x on that. So it's like, I can't think of a reason not to use the Capital One portal for car rentals, especially when it comes to National. And I have with Hilton Diamond, you can do a status match that gets you Executive Elite. So we just had last time, where do we go? We were in Phoenix, and we had a brand new BMW SUV. It was gorgeous, and I think it was cost us like $70 a day. So if I had $300 left from that credit, that would have kind of covered it. So we didn't. We'd already used the 300, because we again tend to use that for car rentals. But like, that's kind of how I use it. Like, I'll use Capital One specifically for that. Like, that's pretty much all I genuinely spend on my Venture X is car rentals through the portal. Mike says he has no Chase cards at all. Yeah, I don't have anything against Chase cards. Again, I'm going to do some more deep diving into the IHG card, because I'm a huge fan of Luke's points and miles. He's honestly where I've gotten so much value over the years, are his videos, and he's leaning heavily into IHG right now. And so there's got to be some really good value there, because he knows his stuff. So I'm going to dive in a little bit more deeply. I think he's really excited about the fourth night free, which I couldn't agree more. That's great, but it really just depends on how you travel. I just don't love the earnings on that card. I don't see that the multipliers make a whole lot of sense. And with the way we travel with Hilton, I don't really ever need to buy points. So I don't see my out of pocket being lower with IHG than with what I'm getting with Hilton, at least for now. But you never know how things change. Dem said that Mike doesn't have any Chase cards as well. Palladium can be a solid one card setup. Couldn't agree more. Palladium could definitely be a great one card setup. I think that another great setup, depending on how much spend you have, would be player one and player two both having Palladium, because then you have the potential of 25,000 for each of you getting the points accelerator. And then, of course, you add the housing spend onto it, and you got some more. But Yeah, I mean, that card, especially if they continue to give you really great transfer bonuses, with certain transfer partners that you want, then I couldn't agree more. But for me, I need to earn a lot of Atmos points because of where I live. It seems like 90 to 95% of the time I'm flying with American, and so Atmos points are super valuable. I'd love to get City. City doesn't like me, so I can't get City cards myself personally. I did just get the City Costco card because I didn't really care about having the card. It's a business card, so I got the City Business Costco card at Costco just to see if City will like me more. So I was just trying to like increase my relationship with City and see how that goes. Because I would like to get some City cards at some point, but I don't have any City earning thank you point cards myself. Beautiful property. Yeah, couldn't agree more, Dem. Yeah, Conrad Orlando is great. That's where we're at right now. Just joining from the beginning, just want to say I enjoy your videos based on other comments. If you have any subscriber paywall content, I'd be happy to join. Thank you, Jason. Really glad to hear that. And yeah, I wish I had the ability to do a membership, but I don't. But I do have, like I said, in this description, a link for you to go to my Calendly booking, and you can book a time for a call with me. I'll be more than happy to go through your entire setup, answer any questions you have. If you're trying to book a certain trip, thinking about things, we can certainly have a conversation that way. I shared your live in a Discord trying to get you more viewers. Thank you, Dem. Dude, I really appreciate that. You're the man. Really glad to have you here. And glad to hear Calendly does work. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Built is a great, just got to use it your own way. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the versatility of built points alone is super valuable. So just the fact that they have all the transfer partners that they do, they're killing it. The only thing that is kind of we're at their mercy is the transfer bonuses, which are like, they make me drool because it's just incredible. Like the one I just did with JAL. That was a somewhat speculative transfer. I had 160,000 built points I'd accumulated. I literally had never transferred out built points, and I've had it for a couple of years. So I didn't really use built as a primary setup for a while, but I had 160,000. I have way more coming from Rakuten soon. But I transferred those to JAL to get the double points. So I have 320,000 JAL, and I'll use those with my family sometime in the next 3 years because they expire. But really, I'm going to do my very best to hold on to built points and only use them at transfer bonuses, unless I'm completely out of Alaska points and I'll transfer them over. But I think I have like 500,000 Alaska points right now, or Atmos points. So I'm not in any kind of a concern of depleting them, especially with us not traveling until September again. And those flights are all booked for our family in September. I think I have 8 people flying in September, business class, but it's not that far. It's only from Miami, so that's super easy. Mike, over the past 2 weeks, I've earned probably 15,000 miles of Capital One portal. That's awesome. That's really cool. I mean, yeah, if you're able to get tons of miles from their portal, kill it. Keep doing it, man. That's fantastic. Because if it's natural spend for you, for me, I think that the biggest problem I have with the offers is that you're generally, and it's the same thing with Rakuten, is like I'm trying to be careful to, like, all of this stuff is set up to generate spend, right? They want us to spend on all these cards. So I'm just trying to be careful with my budget and like what I'm spending. That is it something that I would genuinely have spent on? And so I'll look at that as my main filter. And if it's not something I was going to spend on, I try to be very careful to not spend extra, unless it's something where you're just buying points, like 90% back with Rakuten. Like I'll do those all day, just because it's just insane value. Are you still actively using your Summit card? Yes. Every single time we go out to eat, I'm using that Summit card. With my work, I use a lot of foreign transactions, and so that's what I use for that. I also, another one that was a good useful use with JAL was JAL charged a taxes for, I think when I originally booked the flight with my family, it was going to be like almost $600, and they bill it in yen. So I used the Summit card for those taxes, and there you go. Now you're getting 3.3x for that. I'm definitely going to hit the 60,000 and spend on that card. Um, Between business expenses and dining, it's a lot, but yeah, I'll be able to hit the 60,000. That'll give me gold, and that'll give me the 100,000 companion pass. Um, let's see. Oh, we got this one here. Gentleman Explorer, I have an upcoming Waldorf Orlando stay. Any comparison? I'm hearing on Dem's suggestion. Hey, glad to have you here. Welcome to the channel. I would suggest not doing Waldorf Orlando if you can avoid it. It's kind of run down from when I've seen it. I actually, our first time here in Conrad, Orlando, I was like, all right, it's like 20-minute drive. Let me go check it out. It didn't look that great. I mean, it's night and day, the Conrad versus the Waldorf in Orlando. I don't think I'll ever stay at that place. If you have a free night reward that you're using, I definitely recommend this place. I also, one of the things I can help you with when we do have a private conversation is I do have a contact here at this property in the Conrad Orlando, and I'll give you a quick story in a second here, or I'll tell you now. So just to show you how helpful it is, how Hilton can be really great, but also how helpful it is to have a contact at a property. So long story short, I booked 6 nights for myself with here at this property, and then I had originally 2 more nights at the end of my trip, so a total of 8 nights. And again, I was only doing 8 nights here because originally I was going to use 3 free night rewards at Zimi House in Anguilla, and then the wife said, listen, I don't know if it's a good idea for us to be flying that far, so we decided to not go do that, and instead we said we'll just tack it onto this trip. Well, as we're hanging out with our friends, we decided, you know what, it'd be really nice. My friend, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but my friend just went through a really bad situation with his health. And we decided, you know what, let's give them 2 nights of our 8. We'll have them stay at the same time we're here. And from there, we'll be able to, there we go. From there, we'll be able to spend time with them for a couple days. So they just checked out this morning. Well, when they first checked in, I went to the front desk to handle all this stuff, and my contact there was at the front desk, and he said, hey, just so you know, you have another booking here for like when you're checking out. I'm like, I do? What are you talking about? Turns out when I call Hilton, because you have to call them to change the free night rewards and use them to apply them, they never canceled the last 2 nights of my trip, which I thought they did. I never double checked. That's on me. But they never canceled those last 2 nights. So I had another 2 free night rewards that they used to book for the 2 nights that my friends were staying. And we just checked them in for one of those nights, of course. And so I'm like, damn, because those 2 free night rewards were supposed to expire at the end of the year. And the ones that I was planning on using from originally the end of our trip, the last 2 nights that we were going to be here, had an expiration in like July and August. So I'm like over here, like, oh my God, I told my wife we're not going to travel anymore. I have two free night rewards that are going to expire in July and August. How am I going to like fix this? Because I just checked them in to this free night reward that's already being used. Well, I'm on the phone with Hilton with the Diamond Desk, and I'm waiting to talk to a supervisor, because that was my first thought. Ask your supervisor, see if they'll offer to extend the 2 free night rewards, because I didn't cause this problem. Like, I genuinely, they can listen to the recording. I'd asked them to cancel that other reservation, and the woman didn't do it. So as I'm sitting there waiting to hear from the supervisor, I realized, let me play a little Chinese fire drill with these free night rewards if we can do this. And I said, all right, lady, can you tell me if there's a award availability for the 2 nights? Literally, it was Friday that I made this phone call, for Friday and Saturday. And she checked, and yet there was availability. So I'm like, great. So I said, if we were able to cancel the 2 nights that were upcoming, which is already past the date that the hotel would have allowed that, usually by their policies, and the woman, the Hilton Diamond Desk, said, oh, it's past the date, I can't cancel it. I called my contact. He's like, dude, no problem, I can cancel that for you. So he says, I can cancel that. Then once we do cancel that, you'll have those free night rewards back in your account immediately. Then I have the Hilton Diamond Desk book those 2 nights, another reservation on Friday and Saturday. Then once that reservation's booked, he can cancel the ones that my friends just checked in for. So literally, they're in the room, and he was able to cancel that free night reward. Now, because it was just checked in, he has to go through this whole process to. It's going to take like a week for me to get that free night reward back, but that's fine. And then the other one I was able to get back immediately. So he canceled that, and then once he was able to cancel that original one, he moved the other one back, or the other reservation was there and good. Now the other thing that's a little, so that's first of all like an amazing situation of like that could have been a really bad situation for me. I could have had 2 free nights that were going to expire. Instead, now they're still expiring in like November and December, so that's great. I had plenty of time to use them. And the other thing to keep in mind was that like I have diamond status and my wife has diamond status. So while our friends were staying here as well concurrently, if I kept all of those free night rewards in the bookings under my name, we wouldn't have received $50 food and beverage for both separate rooms. So what I did was I asked Hilton, I asked the hotel here to move that reservation for my friends under my wife's Hilton Honors account, which used Diamond, so we could get food and beverage for those 2 as well. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten the extra $100 in food and beverage. So that's something else to consider, is that like Hilton tells you can't do that. Like if you call the Diamond desk, the free night rewards are under my name. They have to stay under my name. That's not the case when you actually get to the property. The property will move it if you need to a different name. So that's another little pro tip, is that a lot of the stuff you can do at the property you can't do with Hilton. So Hilton will tell you it's not possible, but it really is. And even the woman on the phone was like, no, that shouldn't be possible. And literally he's like, yeah, no, we can do it. We just do this, this, and this. So I can't tell you how valuable it is to have that person, because that could have been a huge headache, huge problem. And it took me basically like an hour to, boom, 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 resolve this with them, play a little Chinese fire drill with the free night rewards. And now I have those 2 free night rewards like I intended to use later in the year. So that's just an example to show you guys like the kind of stuff that having a contact can really do to help solve problems for you, to make your vacation that much better, and also to just, make it more fun. You can have more, better situation, better setup, better stuff like that. All right. And Gentleman Explorer, I'm running 4 surpasses, just picked up 2 and 2 aspires with the goal of 6 aspires and as many as FNC as possible along the way through spend and assorted shenanigans. I love it. I love where your thoughts are at. I'm right there with you, and I don't want to talk too much on this channel about that, but yes, right there with you, and I have more conversations to have with you on a private level. So definitely, Gentleman Explorer, if you're up for it and you're willing to book that time with me, I think I can help you with putting accelerant on that plan. Dem, thank you for the fire. I appreciate that. So yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to talk about today, was just like, how do we get this relationship where I'm giving you guys all these outcomes, but not talking about all the details to be like worth your time? Because I really care about not wasting your time. This is honestly the longest I've had more than one person on the live. Usually, as soon as I end the live, people watch it. Hey, one other thing I'd love to know from you guys is the software that I'm using. It's called StreamLive or StreamYard. Allows me to do a mobile and also a desktop kind of style formatted video. So it does both of them simultaneously. And when I end the stream, it posts both of them. Is that annoying for anyone where they're like seeing 2 different videos that are just different formatting? Because I think I'm getting more views by doing that in the end, but I also don't want to be annoying you guys with like 2 different posts. So if you guys wouldn't mind commenting, is it annoying to have 2 different formats? And if it is, I'll just stick to the regular, landscape for desktop. Because I just turn my phone sideways when I watch videos, but I did this because the software lets you do 2 different videos, so I get even more views. So just let me know what you think of that. And any other comments you have, if you're watching this and you're not live and you have some feedback as far as what you guys want to do with this channel, how you want to let's see, maybe consolidating is better on here. Some of us know each other. Okay, cool. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I'll stop doing the mobile and I'll just do the desktop. So this will be the last one that does this. That'll honestly be easier because I have to like fit my head into the video. It's kind of annoying. And I had to like rig this to sit properly. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys being part of this live. Anybody have any other questions or want to talk about anything before I end it? I'll just give it a second here. It was good. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciate your time. I don't have a specific format for going live or when, but if you guys have any ideas of if you'd like me to do a regular timed upload so that it's easier for everyone, cool. But really glad to have you guys here. And yeah, I might go live again before we end the trip. We're leaving on Tuesday. And for the gentleman that was saying he's planning on going to the Waldorf Orlando, I hope you have a wonderful time. That wasn't to poo-poo on your plans, but I mean, you can see this property when you come. You'll see both, and you'll see what I'm talking about. They'll let you come in and check it out. And if you're eating here, which you certainly can, I think that the valet doesn't cost anything at that point. So yeah, feel free if you're in the area, check it out for yourself. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys for taking the time with me, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Take care.